Hey guys, my name is Steven Anderson and I'm the middle school student ministry leader here at Grace. I just want to share with you guys something that was encouraging to me and something that we talked about in student ministry. Now, before I moved up here to Portland area, I worked as a lifeguard at the same pool for several years, and I usually worked early morning shifts and would have the same people come in every morning. And there tended to be some older people that were a little bit grumpy in the mornings, and probably before they had their coffee, which was fair. And they would come through the same door every morning. They would set their stuff down in the same place. They would go to the same lane. They'd swim the same amount of length, so they'd get out and they'd leave at the same time. And they had this routine. It was kind of understood that that was what happened. Now, there are a few times that new members or guests would come in and they'd swim in their lane during the time that this other patron was supposed to be there. And the other patrons would not respond well. There were times where they would try to get me fired because I wouldn't kick the other person out of the lane, even though there were several other completely empty lanes that they could swim in. There were fights that would break out. There were collisions that happened because they would refuse to give up their lane because they viewed it as their own. They thought that lane was theirs. They claimed it as their own, and they protected it with everything that they had. Now, we've been in John chapter 17, and there's a statement that comes from this that we've been talking about, that God protects what is His. God protects what is His. Now we'll see where we see that in John chapter 17 verse 14. This is Jesus' prayer with His disciples right before He goes to the cross, and He says, I have given them your word, and the world has hated them, for they are not of the world any more than I am of the world. My prayer is not that you take them out of the world, but that you protect them from the evil one. They are not of the world, even as I am not of it. Before this, Jesus very clearly prays, Father, they are yours. And he says that God has claimed us as His own. And then He also says, God, protect them. And He says, you have already protected them. So we know that God protects what is His. But Jesus takes this to an extra level here, and He says that we are not of the world, just as He is not of the world. Now, we can recognize that Jesus is not of the world. We see that He belongs with the Father, He belongs in heaven, and He seems out of context here in the world. And we also know that we're supposed to be light in a dark place, and that we're supposed to be in the world but not of the world. We even know that our eternal destination, our eternal home is in heaven. But Jesus takes that to an extra level and says that just as He is not of the world, just as He does not belong here in the world, we do not belong here. We belong with the Father. We belong in heaven. We do not belong here. We are not of the world. But God protects what is His. And as He's saying this, He says, protect them from the evil one. And so even though we don't belong here, God has claimed us as His own, and He wants us to stay here for a reason, for a purpose, and He says that God will protect us while we are here because we are His own. And not just from physical danger, from physical harm, but from spiritual attacks that we encounter on a daily basis. And so we can have confidence to know that God protects what is His. So that's the thought that I want to share with you guys, that God protects what is His, and God has claimed us as His own. We are not of the world, but we are His. God has claimed us as His own, and God will protect us. So hopefully that's an encouragement to you guys. Hopefully that's a thought that can carry with you throughout your day. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and we will see you soon.